Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today, especially my new viewers and new subscribers. Your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel has truly been amazing, and I'll never take that for granted. I'm very, very grateful. I'm a 57-year-old American who grew tired of the rat race over in America and decided to pack it all in and move to the Philippines in search of a new life. Well, I found that new life, and I want to share with you my boots on the ground experiences. The only way I know how, and that's by giving you the nitty gritty. That's just exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. I'm never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. You know, the subject of my vlog today really is, you can break it down and call it deadly romance. You know, the risk Filipinos take for a new life with foreigners. But before I get started, I want to put this disclaimer out there. This isn't all Filipinos. This isn't all foreigners. This isn't a knock on Filipino-foreigner relationships. It's just my look, my view on things, because it happens enough that we need to talk about it. My channel is a real life channel. I just talk about real life situations, and this is no different. According to the Philippine Statistics Association, about 3.5% to 4% of all new marriages involving Filipinos in the Philippines every year involve a Filipino and a foreigner. According to a recent Pew survey, one in three Asian female newlyweds marries outside of her race. According to that same Pew research study, 41% of people who enter into an interracial marriage face separation and divorce, compared to 31% of people who marry within their race. So yeah, it happens a lot, and don't get this twisted. You know, a lot of Filipinos go to bed at night and they dream of a better life for themselves and their families. They even daydream. And many of them, the overwhelming majority of them, they do this, they achieve this through long hours of study. In school, they graduate, they get good jobs. Okay, but some are forced to go overseas. As overseas Filipino workers, they work their fingers to the bone for small wages. You know, a lot of times it's akin to, you know, modern day slavery. And then some, who I'm gonna talk about today, make a conscious decision that the only way they're gonna escape this abject poverty, and let's don't get that, let's don't be mistaken about that. The economic oppression over here drives some women to make this decision that they're going to marry a foreigner to escape the poverty here in their search for a new life for themselves and their families. I was on the internet last night, and this is how I came up with the subject today, because I saw case after case after case of Filipinos suffering domestic abuse, and many of them paying the ultimate sacrifice, their lives, in search of this new life, you know, with foreigners. You know, and I'm not going to really get into a whole lot of detail, and then I'm going to talk about why I think it happens, and then what, you know, a lot of Filipinos can do to try to avoid taking that risk. Because don't think for 1 minute that I could ever get into the mind of a Filipino. I can't do it. I can't relate. Even though I grew up poor in America, according to American standards, I cannot relate to what a lot of people over here go through when on a day-to-day basis when they face this extreme poverty. I mean, because, you know, that's one of the amazing things about Filipinos that I admire. It's like, how did you make it? Okay, I'm not going to try to do that. But case after case after case, I saw it, and I was like, wow, you know, let's talk about this, you know. Because a lot of times they just take a risk and get involved with these men without even knowing them. See, that's really the big problem. We don't know each other. We try this on-the-job training in a lot of cases. You know, we come over here for 2 weeks and then we go back and we start the visa process and we bring them to our home countries without really knowing each other. I knew of a couple personally in America where the man came over here for 4 days. That's all he could handle, according to him. He couldn't handle the heat. He didn't like it over here. But he nonetheless started the process and he brought his Filipino girlfriend over. They got married and now their marriage is, I mean, it was really on the rocks from day one, believe it or not, because what she ended up finding out was he's a diabetic. His medication renders him impotent, so they can't have any sexual relationship. There's no intimacy there, and she's very, very frustrated. And a lot of times that's the case. You know, they'll say, oh, well, sex isn't important, but being as young as they are, once they get to America, they find out, yeah, it is important. And because the man can't have sex, eventually they seek it somewhere else. But that's just one of the reasons. But domestic violence is big in these foreign or Filipino relationships. And this is the case in these 8 cases that I looked at last night, that I studied, you know, and I started with, there was a case in Louisiana in 2015 where the Filipina had made it up in her mind that she was leaving the foreigner. Well, he wasn't going to have it. See, in his mind, if I can't have you, nobody will. See, jealousy a lot of times clouds the mind of people. And he, in his mind, he figured, you know what? I made all these sacrifices. I did everything to bring you over and give you this new life. You're not going to run off with another man into the arms of another man. Okay, I'll be damned if that's going to happen. So he took it into his own, he took it upon himself to kill her and then kill himself. You know, and this has repeated itself over and over. You know, in Texas in 2019, it was just a bad year for Filipinos involved with foreigners. 3 times the foreign man ended up killing his Filipino wife, and in 2 of those cases killed himself. One was a 66-year-old man, killed his Filipino wife, put her in a freezer, showed it to one of his friends, then ended up killing himself. One 30-year-old Filipino, a 30-year-old foreigner, American, killed his 32-year-old Filipino wife, mother of 2 kids, by the way. They had been together for 8 years. Shot her dead inside of a Dallas hotel room. These are sad, sad cases. And although it's very rare that this happens, it happens enough that we need to talk about it. Filipina was stabbed to death by her husband in France. Same thing happened in Sweden. See, it happens a lot, ladies and gentlemen, where the Filipina makes the ultimate sacrifice. You know, a lot of times, you know, they won't be honest about why they even enter into the relationship. A lot of them say, oh, I'm tired of Filipino men, you know, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for romance, but it's really not the case. And again, there's no way I could ever get into the mind of a Filipina and tell you why they make the decisions that they make. You know, but one thing that you can do, if you're a Filipino and you're looking at this video and you decide that you want to take that risk, you want to take that jump and get involved with a foreign man, is get to know the man better. Okay, you cannot know us in 2 weeks, in a month. You know, it's hard to really know somebody online. And we take these just unbelievable risks under some very flimsy circumstances. Meeting these people online. There's just no way you can do it. It's going to take time. I mean, and who am I to tell you what to do? Okay, but I'm going to talk about it. it is something that's very, very important. And maybe, just maybe, we could save somebody's life today. All right? Because in your haste to get out of this place, to escape this economic oppression, you're willing to take those risks. And who am I to tell you not to take them? But one way is to get to know us better as men. Because you can't get to know us in 2 weeks. It's hard. You can't see domestic abuse. You can't see it in his mind. Okay? But there's some red flags you can look for. Is he controlling? Is he jealous? Okay? That's two things that stand out right there. Is he able to give me the new life? Okay? That's one question you need to ask him, because a lot of us that come over here, we're not rich. A lot of us that come over here, we're surviving on either a fixed income or a pension of some type, But by saying that, let me tell you that a lot of Filipinos, they do strike it rich. I've seen it for myself. They walk right out of the bar, right into a fortune. Or right out of the squatters era, right into a fortune. But a lot of times it ends tragically, like the cases that I mentioned today. And the big reason is we just don't know each other. We're marrying strangers. There's a lot of cultural differences. Filipinos are known to walk right out of a relationship, right into another relationship. And see, over in these Western countries, that's just unacceptable. One thing that Filipinos do, and I've experienced this before, is once they've decided to move on, they shut down all communication. There's no talking it over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. You might as well go on and decide what you're going to do. You might as well go on and move on. But see, with men, we in our minds are saying, hey, we made all these sacrifices. We did all this to bring you over and give you this new life. At least give us a chance, to work it out. But see, with Filipinos, they don't do that once they make up their mind to move on. There's no working it out. There's no talking it over, see? And some guys, I was talking to a guy the other night, and, he's going through it. He's really sad. He's been with his Filipino wife for 4 years. She decided to move on. She's with another man in his hometown. And it's just driving him crazy, And I was just giving him some of my boots on the ground experience, what I did. I separated myself. I got away from that situation. You don't want to look at that. It's hard, on a man's ego, because in my situation, I was angry. I'm not a violent person, but I'm human. I was angry, and I thought the same way a lot of other men thought. It's like, how dare you just give yourself to that man so easily when, he's enjoying the same thing I enjoyed, but he didn't make just a smidgen, not even any sacrifice that I made. See, and guys look at that. And that's enough to push them over the edge, ladies. So that's a cultural difference. Over here, it's no big deal, to move on. A lot of times the man will move on and find himself a new family too. Okay? But I just thought that I wanted to run that by you today and let you know that Filipinos take great risks when they date foreign men, when they make that decision to marry and date foreign men. They put it all on the line. They place it, they put it all on the spin of the wheel. Some of them win, and a lot of them lose. So thank you for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. If you're in America and beyond, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. If you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, you see somebody in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a couple of dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's early, it's about 9:30 in the morning, you still have the rest of the day to find somebody to help. There's no excuse not to find somebody to help over here, because there's literally millions of people who need help over here. It's very, very important that we help each other, especially during this pandemic. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time.